Welcome to our live feed on day 194 at GGY. It's really nice to see a bigger crowd than usual today, no? So thank you so much for coming. Welcome to this roundtable discussion. Auntie Maubrey, good to see you after a long time.
Yes.
I hope you're nicely refreshed and ready for the battle ahead.
She looks it.
Yeah, she certainly looks it. She certainly looks refreshed. And as usual, we have Chiranta, who has joined us as well. So thank you for joining us, Chiranta. Welcome again. So another week where lots of news has been made. But let me start with good governance, Yaya. So, people asked us why we are go Yaya. And a couple of weeks ago, one of our members proposed saw it, right? And so thank you, Travis, for that suggestion. So henceforth, we are good governance, yeah. Auntie, did you know this? What do you think?
That's excellent.
Yeah, that's what we're fighting for, right? So I think, that's where we are now. So before I hand the mic to the others, I put up a quote here, which I would like to read. And maybe, let's see if anybody can guess who actually said these words. Today, we saw Sri Lanka's citizens rise up. Irrespective of race, religion, or politics, we stood together against the destruction of the pillars of our democracy and made it clear that our voices are stronger together and will be heard. The demonstration was peaceful and non-disruptive and was born of conviction and passion. I thank each and every one of you who stood up. I believe in our constitution, I believe in our democracy, and I have faith that justice will prevail. So this particular quote, any guesses? I think we already.
I know, please. Definitely. Sanat Nishata?
Must be, no? Sounds like something he would say. Sounds like something he would say. So this particular quote is actually from 2018 during the constitutional coup. These tweets are from October 2018. And the first tweet, if I can read it, says, "The people have spoken, summon parliament, restore democracy now." And the second tweet says, "The power of the people united for democracy." And those pictures are of the people protesting on his behalf during the constitutional coup. Actually, if I didn't put the dates there, or if I didn't put the caption there, that could have been the Aragale. That could have been the Aragale. And these words could be about the Aragale,
Yes.
right? It's people rising up, irrespective of race, religion, or politics, standing together, against the that some of us stood in those protests in support of him,
Yes.
in support of the Constitution, right? In support of the Constitution, right? Not necessarily in support of Ranil Wickremesinghe. We supported
There were some people, we are not here for Ranil Wickremesinghe. We are here because we want democracy. Wickremesinghe's answer to that. That's fine. That's okay.
Yeah,
that's fine. You don't have to be here for me.
Yeah.
Be here for democracy.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that same Ranil Wickremesinghe acting for democracy now? And President Ranil seem to be like two different people.
Right. So will the real Ranil Wickremesinghe please stand up, right? So is it now? Because I feel like he has learned years to take pop. Recently we sitting at the archaeology department, berating the DG who has since resigned. What the archaeology department has been doing has been problematic for all of Sri Lanka, right? I mean, the racist policy of occupying sort of land in the north and putting temples and expanding and all that. So the only thing Ranil did in that is acknowledge that there is an entity called Tamil Buddhists in this country, right? So that acknowledgement I think everybody appreciates. But do we credit him for taking an incredibly popular position politically? I mean, that was a populist move that he made, sitting there. And to me, there was a certain amount of arrogance. It's not the first time. Is that any different to how Gota acted at the RMP when he went and blasted, right? So he is now kind of he has become the Ranil Rajapaksa that we say he is, right? He's taken these popular decisions and he has learned from that style of politics, which is blended in with this.
Mr. Clean, right? Wasn't his name Mr. Clean not too long ago?
Yeah, he was Mr. Clean, right? He was the Liberal Democrat.
So that's correct. He cleaned the central bank. it's right.
Clean the other
Yeah, clean the other. Yeah. No, Chamina, since you mentioned that,
Yeah.
what about the minister in charge?
Yeah.
Is only the DG responsible? We know very well in all ministries and how the minister gets what he wants done through and all that. So you mean to say that the DG is solely responsible for all? Correct? Former Prime Minister Rathasiri's son. Then what?
To get rid of an official, right? Outcome can say was the right outcome, but the way we got to that, I don't know whether that's the right way. But I just want to say, I mean, whilst all that is going on, the various reports coming up about corruption and scandals and mismanagement and various allegations, the people who are basically backing the president, we can't talk about the president because we know he's ignoring all of that. He's ignoring all of that. Do the state ever, right? So this week, organic fertilizer import scam, billions lost, probe demand. Now, but ultimately, no action, no consequences, and no accountability. Right? About building a country for 2048. So how do you build a country? To the same old type of politics, right? And also, we see that the UNP and its supporters are now on an active campaign to undermine democracy itself, right? One quote from a UNP account says, a democracy cannot exist as a permanent form of government. It can only exist until the voters discover that they can do themselves. We don't depend on people depending on the treasury. Undermining democracy itself, right? Because defend Ranil Wickremesinghe, the person, because he is moving this country away. So now they are attacking democracy itself. It's a very Trumpian sort of a thing. If you look, few things I'll come back to. So let me hand over the mic to Tassie. So we have a slide up for you next. Let me get this next slide up. Would you like to talk about this a little bit, because the hate and against Argala itself is ramping up, yes. Right? Starting from the port. So
it's really distressing because we're seeing so many memes, so many posts on social media attacking the idea, calling the people who are sorts of names. If you look at the slide that Chamida has put up here, this was sent to me on one of my groups by a well-known female cohort tour supporter by the name of Jihan Hamid.
Sorry.
And she is consequently also sharing Twitter account. She's not getting very good comments, needless to say, because this is quite racist. It is quite discriminatory. If you look at what is mentioned in that, you know, the way they refer to the Boru Buddhists, they refer to the Muslim radicals, all sorts of unusual things. The monks who are linked to the church, where they're getting from, and then at the bottom they're talking about the Buryani. Okay, I just happen to be one of the people who was involved in feeding 6,000 people on Eid Day last year. We fed 6,000 with biryani, and I was thinking, why are they talking about the biryani? Who funded? Why is that even an issue? People that had to eat, we provided that. Just like we did on Vesak, we did the same thing for the on Easter Sunday. We fed the Christians. It really upsets me when I think, Yasmin, you encountered something on this topic as well, isn't it, about Argaliya? Would you like to just share some of your experiences?
Yeah, they actually, of late, wherever we go, they ask whether we are being sponsored by an NGO. Yes. So, first I was a little shocked, but now I give them time. Yeah. Because actually, by this Argalaya, we started doing a lot of community work.
Yes.
Right? Especially there are schools, we got involved with the Kiribati Argalaya lady who's a teacher. We now feed them once a month.
Wow.
Yeah, our own money, you know, we give, yes, about 200 packets, lunch packets, and those little children, they wait for it.
Be careful, they might ask what about the lunch packets, like they asked about the biryani.
Yeah.
So, so we have got involved in so much of community work, like helping the poor people.
It's
though
very
they
nice,
think
Yasmin.
and everything is fine. The middle class and the poor people. It's normal, but it's really a struggle for them. They all that we are being sponsored by an NGO.
Right? Foreign government funded NGOs.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah. Yasmin, just take a moment if you don't mind. Just do.
Thank you.
No, I think this particular slide captures all the facts in one. But the funny thing is, there are certain people that are missing from this. Chris, you want to talk about it? I might help you with the slide.
Oh my God! Oh yes, yes.
Okay?
Yeah, no. We've heard that Ashumara Singh had a tent. No. Can you go to slide before? Because first of all, when I saw this, these are all jokes. Okay, but when I saw this slide, first thing I thought of, how did I miss that at the bottom that tents for sex? I mean, how did I miss that? You know, I've been to GG 3 or 4 times, but I missed that. So stupid me. Anyway, now after this slide, since you mentioned the other one, then only it occurred to me what they could have been referring by that previous comment I just made, but that tent for, you know, we heard about Ashu Mara Singh and his episode with his Fifi, I think it is, no, his puppy. Yeah. Anyway, so now there's reliable information that even Ashu Mara Singh had a tent, sponsored a tent.
No, he was there.
Yeah.
He was at
he was there. Okay, right.
Ashu Mara Singh was there at Argaliya, right? He was there at the.
But was Fifi there, his dog? Anyway, so there, he was there. Then we also saw videos of current president and that time opposition MP Rahil Wickremesinghe's wife Maitri Wickremesinghe and a friend.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
at the Argalaya we saw, and previously she was involved with the protest at Tumulla, where she has personally asked people, some of our people who protest with us at GGY, to join. And there was one more. Anyway, so now these people are not on this list, funnily. But yeah.
Yeah, so Ashu didn't make the list. So I think when you look at this list, it tells you a little bit about the intentions of the people who created this.
Yes.
Right?
Definitely.
And and the campaign now to basically erase this Argale movement, because it was a real proper setback for them at that time. Right? So the only thing I feel right now that they fear, they don't fear the opposition. They don't fear, like, you know, even sort of the international community or the you know, the UN agencies or EU. I don't think they. I don't think they fear that, because now this week we saw that GSP Plus has been extended by another 2 years, right? With conditions. Now, people who are supporting Ranil takes it as a victory. Fine, it's a victory. Two more years, but with conditions. And then after that, we don't know what happens. We know what the conditions are. There are certain, you know, workers' rights, human rights, all attached to that. But the way the administration is behaving, as if none of that matters, right? As if none of that matters. So the only people that they seem to fear is the Aragale, which is the people of this country. And Mom, you want to say something about that?
Ranil Wickramasinghe is doing everything possible to discredit the Aragale.
Yeah.
He has forgotten he came because of the Aragale. That's another matter.
Yeah.
That's another matter, because they know if the people will rise up again, they're finished. They're finished. So only fear that they have is the people. That is why, for one thing, they're not having elections, they're not having any of those things, because they are really scared of the people. Why are they scared of the people? Because this country economy is really, really down now, though they are trying to
show that there is some stability.
Because this is the only country that they measure the success of the economy is by the petrol use. Exactly.
Thank you for
That's
saying
good.
that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, because that's what they feel. And most of the Colombo elite, if I may say so, they also say the same thing, you know, we have petrol now, we have no problem. Gas, so everything is hunky-dory.
Yeah.
Real situation, 3 weeks ago, the temple that I go to, the Buddhist priest went on what do you call that? Arms, with the arms pole, to Rajagiriya, that area, more shanty level, and he said, number of poor people who didn't have lunch. They didn't have lunch. You know, that is his first-hand information. This is Borella. So what are we talking about this country? Even this Ranil Wickramasinghe is now there for 1 year.
Yeah.
He is there for 1 year and he is doing great. The only thing that he is doing is bringing laws after laws to prevent anybody rising up.
Yeah.
Speaking the truth, talking against the government or whatever. They are bringing laws. I mean, that's the only thing. It's like I saw it somewhere, they call it like a factory of laws. That is all that they are doing. Bringing one law after the other, simply to prevent people talking about it, expressing their views about what is really happening. And for every law that they are putting, the word that they are using is national security.
Right.
For national security, they are having this. Even the broadcast law, they are talking about the national security. Where are we going? Where are we going as a country? I mean, people are still starving. I saw a parliamentarian talking about it. Central bank report that the poverty has doubled. Some 4 million people are below poverty level.
Didn't they roll out some academic to dispute that this week?
No, this is I don't know whether they did.
No, what I mean is like they're trying to minimize it.
Yes, they will try. But this is
Yes, central bank report, huh?
This is a central bank report.
This is 7.5 million.
7.5
Yeah, from 4 to 7.5 million.
Yeah, it's double from that 15.
Yeah.
And also Ranil is talking about 2048. I mean, we'll all be dead by that time, including him. So, to come to that level, no, honestly,
No,
I mean,
no,
come to that
absolutely.
level, and when
Yeah.
he says about 2048, he says, or like always, next 6 months we'll have to suffer. That is standard thing that he said. Next 6 months we'll have to suffer. So he has no solution, really. He got a Malaysian guy to do that presentation. He have paid him, and that's the model that they are having. Not that he will implement anything from that proposal that he has brought. That is why he is scared of the people. That is why he doesn't want the Aragale to come back again. That he discrediting is so much. I think it's a
Yeah.
planned discredit.
Of course.
Discrediting that is going round, so that none of the people will come for an Aragale again. They, at some point of time, they're definitely going to rise up. They can't keep on doing this. He will reduce us. He will reduce this. He'll bring some fertilizer and give these people. It will be only for his. Once that is done, we will face the music because he is secured for his 5 years. That is all that he
Well,
wants. That is what he thinks.
You're right, exactly.
That is what he thinks.
We are far away from that.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
what he thinks he's going to win. He wants to be there.
Yeah.
What is he? He's an sport tour.
Hmm.
It is sport tour. People
Yeah.
must understand. It is sport tour who brought the country to Ranil and them were contributing factors. And you think he's going to do anything different from what he had been doing for last 40, 50 years in Parliament?
No.
Has he got done a brain surgery and come? That he had got something new to. I mean, honestly,
We
the
don't
man-
know, he's talking about artificial intelligence. So we don't know.
Yes, maybe he had done some surgery or something like that. Honestly, the man who did not perform, how is he going to perform for the next 25 years?
He's a historian, not? He's a historian. Can I just?
First of all, can I just say something?
Yeah, go on.
It's nice to hear you speak, Andy.
Yeah.
Sometime.
Yes, exactly. After a long time, it's good to hear from you. So basically, if you look at the people who are championing Ranil right now, it's a small number, but I doubt that they face malnutrition, right? They don't face malnutrition. They don't face shortages in medicine or anything. Their bellies are full, right? So it's easy for them to dismiss the hunger of people without a voice, right? So in a way, they are there to speak because we have some sort of privilege, and those people who are speaking up for stability are privileged people, right? Now, some use their privilege to speak up for the people who are marginalized, and others will prop up the administration. So that is what we are seeing, right? We are seeing the breakdown. But if Ranil is so confident that he will get the backing of the people, he should have an election, no? And test the theory, right? But I feel he will go for the next 2 years, and I personally think that I doubt that I know he will want to contest, but I don't think the stars will align in such a way that he will get that not the nomination, but whether he will get the popular support even at that stage to consider a candidacy. I don't know. That's why there's delay, right? Elections and so on. So also what this administration does time and again is pick winners and losers, right? And who wins? The cronies. Release from cases, right? Scandal after scandal. Dayagamage doesn't have to pay his loans, right? So the cronies win time and time again. And who marginalized? It's the poor. It's the poor, right? The guys who are struggling are the ones who suffer.
Not only the cronies, even the entertainers also win. TikToker, Naveen.
Naveen, yes, we have a new governor. I know you're dying to talk about Naveen. So basically, that is kind of where we are. Lisha, good to see you. Thank you for putting the talking points together for us, and I think you're going to delve into a few, right? Yeah. So let me just, Chiranta, anything you want to add to the subjects that we just talked about before we move on to another topic?
Well, Today we are talking on this specifically this NGO matter I want to address, because the people of this country came out because of a reason. People didn't just walk out for no reason, and we are here for a reason.
Yeah.
We are here because we don't want this country to go on this path. I mean, we have to be very clear about that. I mean, it is very disgusting that the people who have been behind the Aragale, who have been protecting the Aragale, who have been voicing for the Aragale, specifically I am talking about Ranil Wickramasinghe. He was with the Aragale, he was for the Aragale, he was protecting the Aragale, and he, gets out of the wrong side of the bed, and we are all terrorists, and this is all a conspiracy. We are all NGO. Then the chief NGO person would be Ranil Wickramasinghe. If we are to be NGO and we are to be, conspirators, the chief of that conspiracy, the conspiracy will be, he is the guy who has got to the seat of the president through the blessings of the Aragale.
He has benefited the most.
Anura or somebody, they were saying all this time for this Easter also. The guy who is taking once the gun has been set up, you can catch who set the gun by the person who is taking the dead meat, the animal up.
Yeah.
So basically, who has benefited from the Aragale? Who is now the executive president because of the Aragale? Now he wants to call it a conspiracy. I'm sorry, he's going to be the first person who needs to be questioned with regard to that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, Tassie, I have put the slide up about the Broadcasting Authority Act, right? So I think this is a new act that they're introducing. From the highlights that I've actually not gone into it in detail because there's so much to go through, right? We also have a limited amount of time. I think Tassie, you've gone through it, right? So you want to just talk about this?
Sure. Listening to what Adim already said earlier about how Ranil is just coming up with laws after laws after laws to protect himself, this seems to be another one of those, right? This media bill that they're trying to bring about. Some people are referring to it as a National Independent Media Commission. But it's unlike other independent commissions because this seems to be a regulatory authority to have complete control, right? And to ensure the interests of the current regime. So it's more or less like a government appointed body to kill the independent media. That's how some people are referring to it. I watched with great interest the Newsline with Farah Shaukat Ali and the Face the Nation, which is all about this media bill. And I didn't know that this had even come about until I watched that. So one of the main problems is in the appointments, right? They say that there are 2 appointments that can be made by the president and the other 3 are by the commission. But this commission is answerable to the president. So at the end of the day, all 5 appointments are by the president. And
Not independent.
they're not independent. And he has the authority to get rid of anybody whenever he wills. He just has to inform the commission, who is again in his power. So there's lots of issues about the appointment of people. They say that the need of the hour, a lot of the people who spoke on this program said the need of the hour is a regulatory authority or an investigation committee. That's what they want. What they're saying is you can't suppress the media. You can't tell them what they can say and what they can't say. But what they are saying is we need to protect the freedom of expression, not control and regulate the content. That is what they are trying to do here. Okay? They spoke about the 4th pillar of democracy being the independent media, right? After the judiciary and the executive and the legislature, the 4th pillar is supposed to be the independent media, and he's trying to suppress that now.
For the state.
Yes. Okay, and what they are suggesting is that this bill or this commission, they need to worry about things like transparency, allocation of licenses, are they being used properly, that sort of thing, not the content that people are creating and circulating on social media, right? One person actually referred to this bill as fit to be used as toilet paper. Right? Yeah, harsh words. Another person said it should be thrown into the dustbin.
A lot of the new bills seem to be like that.
Exactly. I mean, just reminding me of this ATA as well. And the good thing is that it is a draft. It's a white paper that has been offered to the media institutions for 3 weeks to give their suggestions. So that's the good thing. It hasn't been tabled or anything like that. It's been offered to the media. So at least that's one step in the right direction without just saying we're doing this.
Also, there needs to be legal review, right? By the there needs to be because so as it says there, a similar bill had been proposed in 1997, which the Supreme Court has rejected on various grounds that's mentioned there. I will actually post these slides on our GGY page in the comment section so everybody can read this. So I don't know how much has changed from the 97 bill to now, but if it was unconstitutional then I don't see why it's constitutional now. Just because we have a different president doesn't mean the law or the constitutionality of the bill will change, right?
UPFA government.
97 would have been UPFA. No, she's asking a question.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask a very basic question? I'll give it back to Tassie. Something very basic. If anyone knows the answer, please tell me. So I'm just wondering now, these bills, now these bizarre bills, right? Like this Broadcast Authority Act and the Rehabilitation Bureau bill and bills like that. Who drafts them? Is it not checked by the government's lawyer, the Auditor General's department? There's a whole department there, right? Full of lawyers who we the Attorney General's department, who we the public put their salaries and we pay for them, right? Aren't they supposed to check these bills? I mean, can they just put any bill with any bizarre condition and then I mean, who takes the responsibility?
Yeah, so Chris, the job of the lawmakers in Parliament, that's who we elect, the legislature, they're lawmakers, right?
Yeah.
Any member can introduce a bill. Any member can bring a bill to the floor, which needs to then be debated. Then,
so
it goes into committee and all that. I think Chiranta might be able to answer that better about the process.
Firstly, Justice Minister, I think.
No.
I can't.
No. If anybody can remember, there was a bill that was bought against obscene material. Recently, a bill was bought against basically obscene content. I won't say the word, XXX content, right? So in that there was like a 10-year rigorous imprisonment for possession of. Somebody sends a video to you and you don't know, and the phone downloads it and keeps it. Because you don't know, you're on Wi-Fi, the phone downloads it, and then the cop can come and say you are in possession of this and you are 10 years rigorous imprisonment. We didn't define what obscene is also. And then for all the things, then Ali Sabri bought it and then they quickly withdrew it. But the thing is, a process to do a bill is basically the cabinet initiates the approval for it. Then it goes to a legal draftsman. There's a department of legal draft. You have to go through that. Then it goes to the minister, or possibly to the AG. Then the AG has to approve it. Then it might go back to the legal draftsman. Then it comes back, and then the ministry oversees these communications. Then only the final draft comes out. And then you gazette the draft and put it as a draft bill, and then you get, but that does not mean it's tabled in Parliament. You can just draft it and keep it like that, and then once the amendments are done, they can be finalized, and then they can finalize, and then they can go and table it in Parliament. After that, 7 days are given for that the bill to be contested in the Supreme Court. Now in some countries, you can challenge a law after it has been passed. Right? Very high democratic nations, existing laws can be challenged in the Supreme Court. In this country, once a law has been passed in Parliament,
Nobody can.
nobody can hold it. So it's a very difficult situation which we have created through this
Sorry, go ahead.
the constitution.
No, you mentioned a process, no, Chiranta?
Yeah.
Before that, there is good legal draft. Has this bill gone through that?
Yeah, it's supposed to have gone through that.
You have so many flaws then.
And the helmet ban gazette, it went through all the process and it came and we do a protest and and blah blah blah, and then they sent it back to the legal draftsman. I mean, they gazetted it and everything, and then they took it to the legal draftsman. It was enforced. The wrong thing was enforced, and we had to go to the Court of Appeal for the Attorney General to come and say, okay, we have actually sent it back.
This one, I think they have offered it to the media institutions first.
Yeah,
To have a
the
debate
thing-
before
now-
they
Okay, all right.
Now the thing is this: is this the issue of the country?
Now, definition of
Is this the issue of the country? Did this country become bankrupt because of media institutions?
Well,
It's
maybe
another way of
maybe you have some
No,
responsibility.
but the thing is, people were, let's say, people were misled by certain media, but that is not the reason why this. Is this the reason why the Easter Sunday attack happened? Is that why intelligence information was given? Interpreted wrong information and given down, passed down.
Yeah, no.
Now Ranil comes. He comes to do the. Recover the country. Do first. He's talking about these things.
Yeah.
He should be prioritizing on what this country. The priority is about ensuring human rights, ensuring the rule of law. Has Ranil come up with an act to empower the Human Rights Commission, which has been criticized by the international bodies for not having enough power to do anything?
But right now, they are trying to suppress. So this
Yeah,
is
I mean,
not suppressing.
Yeah, so
even in the context of his last presidency of Ranil, last premiership of Ranil, what did the people want? People wanted. What did he give? What did he give?
cronyism.
Cronyism is okay. One side.
Yeah.
He destroyed his responsibilities. He destroyed the system, and he allowed it to happen. And he took a step back and allowed the whole thing to go and crash, and bombs exploded.
Yeah.
All the laws that are being enforced against the Aragale was there back then,
Yeah.
including ICCPR, including the PTA, including all these other laws.
Yeah.
Because during this unprecedented
Yeah.
crisis, like right now, I think there are 3 areas that we have to make strong, right? We need to have the rule of law, we need to have zero corruption, and we need to have this racial. 3 things that we need to make at the end of the day. And this is what they are accusing the media of, infiltrating and doing things against. And this is why he wants to come up with this bill. Because it's basically a government-sponsored effort.
Yeah, I mean, media practice is documented, right, from the Dr. Shah case and how that was blown up by the media. So, but where's the accountability for that? To this day, none of those stories have been retracted by fix that. I don't think that's gonna. So, to come to your point, Chiranta, you're right, because if you look at the numerous laws that have been brought in, nothing addressing justice, accountability, human rights, all addressing people's voices, expression, dissent, speech, right? So it's really like, and also to a certain extent like moral policing with the Buddhist religious lobby and things like that. These are ways that they kind of attack our democracy itself, right? Is under attack through all of this. So really we are being sort of into like fascist territory to a certain extent.
So many trivial things, Chandra.
Exactly. Just one point. One of the key demands of the Argale was the presidency. Is this why he's trying to abolish the Argale?
And he said
Right.
it when he was coming in, right?
Right, he knew that. He
said that he was going to do it.
Of course, every president has always said it.
President says.
Every president has said it.
Maithripala is the only one who did.
Right, so we are the ones who are still demanding, we are still demanding that the executive presidency be abolished. Now nobody's talking about it, right? So instead, what is he trying to do? He's trying to abolish the people's voices by abolishing the Argolaya, right? That's what's sort of happening right now. So that's it about the Broadcasting Authority Act. Is there anything more you want to say on this topic? I'll pass anything else.
I'd just like to say, Chamila, that there's really no scope for communication without democracy, right? And getting rid of a truly independent media seems to be the reason behind this bill.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I just want to say that there was a lovely quote that I heard on, I think, the Newsline, where Mahim Mendis mentioned, so the role of the independent media, it's a curse to those without a mandate.
Yes.
I love that quote.
Yes,
I
that's
just thought I want to end on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we all know that this is why this is happening.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Nisha?
I will, yeah, so Lisha, I will pass the mic to you. You have a few things, so we ran through a couple of things at the beginning before we came, but the rest of it,
I don't know what is
some of it, so the next is about
Yes.
this gentleman over here.
But
Well, this is about accountability, right?
Yeah.
Now, a commission has recommended certain things.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens, whether there is actually
Exactly.
equal justice in this country. Sorry, just pass this on.
I mean, this is a man who has.
The other way, the green light pointing. There you go, yeah.
Okay,
There.
so this is a MP. Father was a Thagi and his brothers have been thugs. They have, I mean, let's be honest, I mean, they have murdered people in the past. Under Chandrika's government, I think, when his father was, I mean, his brothers ran amok. I mean, I remember in
Udatala Vinna massacre.
And now he has drunk, walked into a prison outside of prison hours. He has threatened, I mean, that whole list of items, presumably on the comments page of GGY so people can have a look at it. And they are recommending that, that action be taken against him. But will anything happen? Why has he not been arrested up to now? He has done something completely abominable and illegal. Why has he not been arrested?
The SLPP chairman, who's the guy with the tie, who always comes and speaks,
Sagar.
he basically today said they're not going to take any action against their member, that they're not going to suspend his membership. So he's getting a pass from the SLPP, which is no surprise to anyone.
I mean,
Right?
it's not
Thug life can be this SLPP sub-heading.
So if SLPP is giving him a free pass, Ranil will give him a free pass. That's what it is. Say.
Yeah.
And then going on to presidential pardons, I don't want to spend too much time on this.
I haven't put that up, but
So
next,
basically,
Yeah, go ahead.
the Supreme Court has ruled that Maithripala Sirisena of Srimanta is illegal. The Royal Park murder was illegal.
Yeah.
And will there be consequences? Will anything happen? I mean, leaving this one aside, now he was found guilty of negligence which resulted in the Easter bombings.
right.
He was given 3 compensation. Has it happened?
He's collecting money, no, he deals.
Yes, but his time must be up now. He should be in jail. He has not paid.
Mind you, the only reason Ranil didn't get in that particular
Because he has presidential
because he had
immunity.
presidential immunity, right?
Yeah, so they can bring
if
it
not,
afterwards.
they can bring it after his if
Absolutely.
necessary. Okay.
So by this one, I mean, the
I want to
voter
correct,
bias.
I just want to say something.
Yeah, please take the mic.
Yeah. Presidential immunity is not the only reason. There are certain things that have not been, investigated. It's basically set of bombs went off, and the court cannot rule on things that are not before it.
Yeah.
So it will be re-motioned. There are things that get his side of the thing into it. So those things that after his term as president, those things can be brought before the court for consideration with regard to order, with regard to Ranil Wickremesinghe. Right? The others the court has already ruled. So will be able to prepare to run it.
So going on from that, we had Maitripalas, after Maitripalas, there was Gotabaya also who gave a couple of major presidential pardons. One was Dr. Silva, who with 4 others murdered Hirunika's father and 4 other people. Then there was a Corporal Sunil Ratnayaka who murdered 8 people. Again, he gave him a presidential pardon.
Yes.
Will anything happen? Will there be an investigation into that? These are pardoning murderers. And now the courts say that Drew Shamanta has to be rearrested. The man left the country the same night. They'll never find him for love or money.
They'll never find him.
It's like the arrest warrant against Pastor Jerome.
Govinda is back in prison.
Is he back in?
Yeah, back in.
Thank God for that.
Okay, Lisha, if you can also just talk about this.
Oh, you don't know
You
enough.
don't know about this? Okay,
I don't
so
know enough
basically,
about
you know about this, right?
Actually, no, Chamin.
Okay, alright. Anybody else want to talk about it? So basically, Verite Research did an investigation on the EPF, I think publicly available information on the EPF fund. They've done a forensic audit and they have found that between 2002 and 2015, the EPF incurred losses of 2,556 million rupees.
Of our money.
Of our money.
Our retirement money. That we
Right.
contribute.
So,
Unlike the government pension.
million out of primary bond market transactions and a loss of rupees 8.9 billion, where the total gain during has been 6.4 billion. So net loss overall on that. That is our money. Is there a coincidence that it's between 2002 and 2015? During this is during the Rajapaksa administration, when we knew EPF funds were being used for various transactions, propping up various organizations, companies, stock markets and all that, and also being moved into shell companies, quite frankly. So what happens to this? This is our money. There was a time when people could literally walk into the EPF department and collect their money on the same day. Now, to get your EPF ETF, you have to wait. There's a waiting period and all of that. What happens with this information? Now, available information, right? Just like Tushan's accusation, just like so many other scams that are out there, there's enough information if people want to follow up. The Attorney General's department or whoever is responsible for law and order can look into all of it. This is public money that has been lost. Isn't this time of so?
I've heard there's a lot of corruption in the EPF and ETF. Some employers haven't paid. There are people who have been struggling to get their money, their dues.
Yeah.
There's a lot of corruption there, apparently, a lot of red tape. It should be something that should be very simple. It's money that is owing to us, that we have paid and our employers paid on our behalf.
Yeah.
But apparently there's a lot of strange
when you
things
see
happening
where
there.
they've lost so much money, so
Exactly.
obviously they are struggling.
Yeah. Is there anything else from your
Yes, what I have to see now when we talk about this, what you are showing, how all of money that has been lost, right? You can say I am not an EPF ETF holder, right? But so many are, right? But the problem is, so the government that has time to investigate, statements on social media, videos on social media, bringing people who post videos on Twitter.
Yeah.
They're doing all these things. What is the priority of government? He came to power. 2015, Maitripala came to power asking to capture chiefs. He went behind some Arab Bank to Anchava Kela, they were chasing their own day. After that, Gotabaya came and he wanted national security. What did he provide? He provided. What did he do about national security? He got the army do this and that, and put this person, army person, army person to that and this and to so many top government positions were given to army officers or army officers. And what happened? What happened? We have a prosperous, corruption-free. I mean, did the RMV licensing corruption system stop? People made, those corrupted individuals made bypasses around it,
Yeah.
And then what happened? What happened? We bankrupted our country. And Ranil comes to recover the economy. And what does he do about recovering the economy? He goes out to the Aragale. What does that have to do with recovering the economy? But then when you have so much of facts from other organizations, so NGOs, and Veritarian Research may be considered an NGO, and they come and show about the corruption, and Ranil's team is about coming to social media, NGO, and not talking about this.
Yeah, can I just, sorry. We also need to question the role of law enforcement in this country, right? I mean, investigating these crimes, frankly, is the responsibility of law enforcement, right? Our police, we have seen a rise in police brutality. Okay, now this week there was a story where suspect magistrate, he was tortured to implicate Hijaz.
Yes.
Now they were asking for his testimony against Hijaz by torture. TID officials tortured him. He was finally released. No apology, no explanation, just released.
No charges.
Right, and where this guy can point the finger at TID officials whose orders were they implementing? Right? Will the TID officers act on their own to elicit a confession from a suspect? Right? I mean, obviously there is conspiracy at play here, right? I mean, of course, I think there are various pieces of this story fits together, but again, where are the consequences for these police officers? Now, today or yesterday, a young man was shot through the head. He was smoking a BB, and he was shot through the head.
Because he was actually challenging the police or something.
No, he was running away.
He was scared that his parents would find
out. He's a young guy. So what did they do? They went and put an entry against that guy saying he had a grenade and so much ammunition. Right? Where there are eyewitnesses. So now, so many cases like this where.
There's one more as well.
Yeah, I'll give you the mic, Isha. So there are so many cases like this. When there is no accountability for things like this, it creates a permissive atmosphere where they feel like they can just do anything and get away with it, right? So this is why we need that, and it's the same permissiveness that exists in Parliament too. If there are no consequences for any of these crimes, any Easter bombings or the scams or whatever that we are asking for accountability, what is the incentive for them to change? Right? What is the incentive for the police to change their behavior? Nothing, right? Because ultimately there are no consequences. So, yeah, go ahead.
The government mafia now.
It's a mafia. It's sort of like a mafia, yeah.
So there was another incident which came up. National Training Authority, custody of the police narcotics, beaten to death.
Wow. When did that happen? We didn't even read that.
It's on this.
Sorry.
That came up this week, 6th of June.
Oh yeah, vocational training officer. That thing.
And after purchasing a meal, while his friend decided to stay back and enjoy lunch at the restaurant, and the cops had caught them thinking they had drugs or something and beaten the man to death. Then we have the recent cases where that poor maid of somebody who some chain or something went missing.
Beaten to death.
Then you had a cop who
stripped that woman.
Yeah. I mean, basically, who will protect the public when the police violate the law? Who do we turn to?
So the police act like they're enforcers for the authorities. They're not protecting the public.
They're like the mafia.
Like a mafia. Yeah.
which we are paying for with our taxes.
Yeah.
I want to add about, the intimidation part of police. I had exposed that recording in public several months back, I think, where the police, the CID, senior officer at the CID called and said, "Oh, where he's offering me a job at the CID. He was offering me a job. He said, you don't have to do any physical or anything. You can straight off join them and අපේ පැත්තට ඇවිල්ලා අපේ පහනින් බලන්න."
Yeah. So this is what the police is up to. Yeah.
This
Yeah,
in this
exactly,
country.
exactly.
I mean, people everyday people somewhere they are faced with some incident with the police, and there is a police commission and so many other institutions. I mean, there's a minister who talks about the police, the colors of the police, how it's great and he's under his rule. He comes with a like a suit and tie. He's like Adolf Hitler coming and a smart guy coming and saying, "This is the police, this is the police. I'm the minister." But has he done anything about this? I mean, he's when you want to talk to him, he wants to කතා කරන්න ඉගෙන ගන්න.
Yeah.
He's nothing he is doing.
Yeah. So you mentioned all these things, Lisha, right? All these police brutality, killings, violent police. We are spending almost more than double of what we spend on education, on on national security. If there is so much of national security, how come these citizens are suffering like this? So the next question is, who is this security for? It's national. I mean, they talk about Arakshawa, Jatik Arakshawa, Ratanpure, and they justify spending all this money, our money, allocating money which could be used for schools, for hospitals. There are hospitals without medicine. Patients are dying without medicine. Doctors are gagged. They are not allowed to come and speak out.
Yeah.
To tell the public. Even get donations.
Yeah,
They can't come and tell the public.
Yeah, this week there was a doctor who asking for medical. Like, I had reshared it, and after a while the tweet was missing.
Yeah. So they are not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
So basically they cannot show.
Everything is honky stability and honky
Yeah.
dory.
So I mean, if we are spending this much of money on national security, how can these people be dying in? Isn't there something wrong? Should we be speaking out about this? I think Yasmin and
Manicure,
Manic,
you want to, is there anything
is
you want to
something
talk
if you'd
about?
like to
No.
say, I'll send the mic down. Yes, if there is.
That too, you want me to?
No, is there anything you want to say,
Or is there
or
anything you want to before? Otherwise, I'll wrap this.
Chris is about to wrap things up. Is that all right?
Is there something?
Shall we wrap it up? Because I think we are about reaching the hour mark. Is there anything you want to talk about? Or?
Yeah, so I think, yeah, as opposed to what Chris mentioned, the thing there are, what happens, there are, I don't know, mixed messages from the government and the people. You had the finance minister saying that we will achieve economic stability by the end of this year. And on the other hand, you see they're saying there are no medicines in hospitals. So then, how can you say?
You're going to
But again, we have money to promote tourism, to make the secretariat and
Yeah, they did the refurbishment. No?
Yeah.
trees and all, like site, basically tourist sites.
We
We
have
have the money
money
for all that.
to, we have money to do the cleaning of Rosie's
By Rosie's house,
Yeah.
150 million.
Yeah.
15.
15 million. Thank you,
Chamini,
Manny.
that sounded even
Thank
worse.
you. Yeah. 15
Sorry,
million.
sorry.
15 million to clean park house?
Clean
I mean,
Rosie's house.
I would have agreed to do it, guys, for
For
about
half
10 Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, I think
Before
spoken.
that,
Okay,
can you
okay.
just talk about this?
Yes, sure.
Number 3,
Tell me.
I mean, our taxes again.
Wow.
Consultancy fees paid for nothing.
Kehelia's Dutt Consultants.
Ah, yes.
Kehelia lands himself in a hot soup again. Recommends Dutt Consultants. Yes, I read this thing. Okay.
Not small money.
Millions were
Okay.
paid.
Cope revealed. Right? That on Kehelia's recommendation, 2 consultants were paid 1.8 million and 700,000 for consultancies that they never did at associated newspapers.
More there must be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our taxes are at work.
Yeah.
Cope recommends that the ANC board of directors be held responsible. So Kehelia gets a scot-free again. So Kehelia is a guy, I mean, he's as a health minister, right? These are guys who are making, I mean, there are allegations of them making money over drug imports, getting poor quality standard drugs into the country, you know. Then, but they remember when he had his episode from one balcony to another balcony in a foreign country, and when he fell, he was treated in Singapore and under the president's fund, by funds of the president's fund. Who funds the president's fund? We do, right? So the public who fund these guys extravagant living and their stupidity, we fund this. So the public have to wait in queues for medicine in hospitals. So we will continue to speak about these things. Just like I will, I think we're coming to the end of our segment. I just need about 4 minutes to quickly run through this thing. I know it might sound boring to some of you who heard me doing this before, but we think it is important to keep reminding people about these issues for the simple reason that government creates news. I think somebody said, I think it was Randy who did this lovely drawing showing that the government, Ranil Rajapaksa government needs only 52 topics to keep the Sri Lankans occupied. 52 topics, there is one topic for each week. Right? So even this the Broadcasting Authority bill, the reason I ask that question is who drafts this bill is, I can't believe that the Justice Minister who's the President's counsel and then the AG's department, which has so many eminent lawyers, right? I think over 200 lawyers.
Can I just say something?
They allow such a basic law which can get thrown out of the Supreme Court to even come out.
No, I think the quality of the bills that we are seeing presented in Parliament these days is a reflection of the quality of the Parliament we have.
Yes.
And probably hastily put together just to...
Exactly. It's just
Is Johnston Fernando drafting these? Is Sanatishad drafting these?
Must be.
Yeah.
Must be.
So, okay, quickly to run through these things. We're going to remind you about the non-action against ministers and MPs. Quickly, Diana Gamage. She's not a Sri Lankan citizen, as confirmed by the Controller of Immigration, yet she is a minister in this government. How is that? Minister Arundika Fernando, he instructs the Controller of Immigration to release a Chinese person with a false passport. How can he do that? Minister Indika Anuruddha's supporters are behind the assault of the Omani investor, garment factory owner. Why is he not being held accountable? And how come the solution is to offer the Omani investor a separate place to run his business? Is that the solution? Is that the message we are going to send to foreign investors? MP Ali Sabri Rahim, he smuggles 75 million worth of gold and 91 phones and gets away with a 10% fine of 7.5 million and is released. Next day is in Parliament, votes against government just to show you do this type of, if I'm caught, I will not vote with you. However, French smuggler who smuggled 85 million worth of gold is fined 100%. That is 85 million. How is it separate? Former Deputy Mayor of Kaduvela, Chandika Aberatna, attacks popular activist Priyat Nikeshela, and this is recorded on camera. Both are arrested, even the person who gets hammered and is injured. And the police oppose bail being granted to Priyat. but they don't oppose to praise being granted to the aggressor, Chandika Abhiratna. Then, Minister Nimal Siripala De Silva, Japanese ambassador informed that he solicited a bribe from Taisei Corporation. Yet he is free. A commission was appointed. He resigned. We thought, wow, nice. He resigned. A commission was appointed. He is deemed innocent by the commission. He is back again there.
Exonerated?
Yeah. Minister Prasanna Ranatunga, his court has found him guilty of extortion. He faces no action. And we saw recently, I think somebody shared, how he is negotiating with foreigners, with investors on the sale of heritage buildings in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Extortionist.
Extortionist. MP Premala Jayasekar, in case you don't know, I'm sure you all know his name, but he's called Amalli. Convicted murderer and sentenced to death in 2020. Yet he is released and is in parliament. Then we will talk about killings, disappearance and injuries caused to people. Richard D'Souza, way back in 1990. To date, we do not know officially who killed him. Lasantha Vikramatunga, killing in 2009. Today, we do not know who killed him. This is a country where we have Jatika Araksha, and defense is, we spend so much of money on defense and public security. Prageet Eknalikoda disappeared in 2010. What has happened to him? Is he dead? Is he living in a foreign country? Is he among us? Keith Noya, assaulted in 2008. Where? What happened? Who's behind this? Basim Tajuddin, 11 years ago, he was killed. You say that we are unable to find out his killers? Dinesh Shah, this is the same government who's able to use technology and catch the people who ate a slice of pepper from the president's house during the Aragale. Remember that, okay? They can catch the person who ate a slice of pepper, who wore the president's underwear or whatever. Anyway, who slept on the president's bed, using camera. They can do that, but they cannot find the person who killed Basim Tajuddin 11 years ago. Dinesh Shafter, a prominent businessman in Sri Lanka. What is the confidence that other investors get? Forget foreign investors. What about the local investors? At the time that the country is bankrupt, these pillars of business in Sri Lanka, they should be worshipped and looked after. And if they are killed under suspicious circumstances, the least you can do to instill confidence among other investors is to find who was behind this. 6 months later, he knows.
Of course, it's maybe a coincidence that he was a.
Yes, that's what Chiranta also said on the central
bank.
bank. Yes, and I want to know, since I'll just digress a little bit, what is the business chambers of Sri Lanka doing about this? We had so many businessmen going, Viatmaga and all going behind supporting Gotabaya Rajapaksa's candidacy, right? Where are those business people? Aren't they going to talk? A fellow businessman has been killed 6 months ago in broad daylight. Easter attacks, 269 people were killed. What is happening there? It's been 4 years. As soon as the president was elected, he said he will commission a Scotland Yard investigation. Nothing is happening on that. Then unresolved scams. People's Bank, 54 billion in bad loans as informed to the public by Shanakyan Rasamanikam when he read out the COPE report. What is happening there? There are some very big names and some names connected to politicians there. What is happening there? These are money. 54 billion, right? You and I cannot get a loan unless we give property or collateral or cash or some guarantee. How come these guys can get such big loans? And where's the collateral? If the bank has to write it off, that means they have taken it without collateral. Who authorized this? Bond scam, 12 billion. That's the value of the bond scam. Sugar scam is 15.9 billion. Garlic scam in inferior cooking gas, which resulted in the explosion and damage to property, and 7 people died as a result. Tushan Gunawardena, former CA director, has highlighted this. Nothing has happened. Bandula Gunawardena is clearly implicated in this. Nothing has happened. He's a cabinet spokesman. He's still speaking. Once a week, I've shared with you all, I think, how he's on the front page of the Daily News. Doing something, giving some stupid statement. Nothing happens on this. Right? Import of low quality fuel and insufficient quantities of fuel which led to people dying in fuel queues. Who's responsible? No one. Import of substandard fertilizer from China, and we had to pay $6.9 million as compensation. Who is responsible? Yeah. Express Pearl disaster. Possible loss possible compensation is 6.2 billion US dollars. Double what we got from IMF.
That's
double the
scam.
IMF loan.
It is
What
a
is happening
clear
there?
scam. It's a clear scam.
The Justice Minister comes and talks about police putting drugs and falsely implicating people. He just comes and gives a statement like that, and it's over. You mean he can just come and say whatever fairy tale? Is it being investigated? What if he just came and said that some charmer, unheard of person has accepted 250 million US dollars to postpone this thing? What's happened? That's just the news for the week. So we will continue to remind you that these are issues that are not being sorted. We are not here to find fault with this president or that person. We are here to find fault with the system. The Aragale came out because the system was corrupt, and we wanted accountability. We thought we might get something from Ranil Wickremesinghe. Most of us realized we would, because he was backed by the 134 crooks who bankrupt the country. But now it's evident to everybody who is in control, and that Ranil Wickremesinghe does not have our interest, and is not interested even by these laws that are coming up. You know, this Broadcasting Authority Act to the ADA to contain those, right? And not hold accountable these people who have caused immense loss to the country. So we will continue to talk about this thing. We think these are important, and we feel you should speak about them too. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. So I think we reached over the hour mark. We've gone over the hour now, but we covered as much as we could. There's so much that comes at us every week, so we try to pick and choose what we can talk about for that particular week. So thank you so much. Thanks everybody for participating. Anuj, CK, good to see you guys back, and thank you for helping us put this together. And it's Angie, thank you for coming as well, hiding there at the back. So it's day 194 today at GGY, and we will be back on Sunday for day 195 in our usual street corner for our protest from 6 to 7, our usual time. And we'll be back here for day 196. And let's see what has happened in the interim during that week. Maybe some of these issues you're highlighting will get ticked off your list, Chris. We'll have less to read about.
Let's hope so.
Right? Let's hope.
We'll keep dreaming.
Right. So in a way, we are an annoyance. We know that not just to the establishment and the system. Sometimes to even our own friends and families. Right? That we're doing this. But the reason we're doing this is because we believe in the cause. The cause that the Argalayer brought up. And everything we fought for in Aragale is still valid today, right? Other than the fact that Gota has gone, what has changed? If at all, now everything that the Aragale gained has been eroded completely. So that's why we are here. As long as there's a cause to fight for, we will use our voices and fight for it. So thank you so much, guys. Good to see you all. Hopefully we'll have a good turnout next Wednesday as well. Thank you and good night. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.